being that you used to have a good relationship with Dana White, what's Dana White's best quality?
Oh man, he's incredibly talented. He's incredibly driven. He's incredibly hardworking. The UFC isn't a thing in 2024 without him. If the Fertitas buy the UFC and don't put in 2000 and don't put Dana White as the face of the company, as the promoter of the company, I don't know if it survives. There's all these stories about, 3-4 years in, they're $44 million in the hole. Like, he freaking bled, sweat, teared his way to the top. Um, and that's the thing. Like, find me any clip where I call him a bad name or insult him or anything like that. Yeah, I spoke up about, the video that came out last year. I felt uncomfortable doing so. I waited a couple days to do so because that's a personal thing, and I don't, you know, I feel like there's a line as well. I try to view him as an entity that I'm covering, and even though it's become personal over the years in terms of like the jobs and whatnot, I've tried not to allow that to, taint my reporting or my feelings and views on the organization. If there wasn't a UFC, I wouldn't be living this dream or this life. So, and he's the reason for that. So, incredibly smart, transformed a sport. I would say transformed the fight game, because now you're starting to see boxing finally copy some of the things that they've done. And I think they should have done so a long time ago. Some promoters like Eddie Hearn of Matchroom is always talking about how he looks up to Dana White, and he should. Now you're seeing what they're doing with like their Performance Institute and the Apex and all that. They're ahead of the curve. So it's an incredible success story. This guy was a bellman at a hotel and teaching, Taibo before all this started, and now he's arguably the most successful promoter of the 21st century and one of the greatest promoters of all time. In the same conversation as McMahon, Arum, King, those guys, like
Yeah.
the giants. So yeah, the anyone who says otherwise is just being a hater.